Well, we're going to look at Federalist number 26. This is part one. Sorry about the picture, it's a little dark. But again, in Federalist 26, Hamilton is going to talk about the common defense, the national defense, and why you cannot tie the hands of the government down. Because you want safety and security, but at the same time, you don't want to take so much authority out of the hands of the government that government cannot do its job. You do need a small professional force, he says, because all people are doing is criticizing that militias would be okay, that's enough. We don't need a standing army. We don't need any kind of standing army. And Hamilton keeps on saying, well, you've got to have a force to defend your country in the times of emergency. You can't wait for an invasion to happen. You can't wait for people to invade your country and then try to organize a military. He says, we nearly lost the Revolutionary War if the French hadn't come to help us. Yes, militias are brave, militias are good, but there's only so much they can do. So he wants to say there's a balance. There should be a balance. And here in the first paragraph, he refers to that. You have got to have that balance. And let me just read the first paragraph to you. We'll start it off this way. It was a thing hardly to be expected that in a popular revolution, the minds of men should stop at the happy mean which marks the salutary boundary between power and privilege. It's very important. It says you want to respect people's rights. You want to make sure that nobody violates those rights. But at the same time, you've got to have enough power in the hands of government to defend those rights, to keep them secure. So you have to have that. When he says the mean, he's talking about the balance, the happy balance there. So which marks the salutary boundary between power and privilege and combines the energy of the government with the security of the private rights. You'll have enough energy in the government and you'll have all the security you need to keep your rights secure, to keep your rights safe. A failure in this delicate and important point is the great source of the inconveniences we experience. And if we are not cautious to avoid a repetition of the error, in our future attempts to rectify and ameliorate our system, we may travel from one chimerical project to another. We may try change after change, but we shall never be likely to make any material change for the better. So if we don't take care of this problem now, if we don't give enough authority to government to do its job, what we're going to do is make a superficial change, and in 5 years we realize that we need another change, so we'll have to constantly go from one change to another, and who knows what will happen in between. We'll stay weak, foreign powers will take advantage of our weakness, and he says we will be laughed at by the rest of humanity because we have the chance to establish a republic, a vast, powerful republic that provides security for its people and allows her people to become prosperous. And if we lose this chance, who knows when this will happen again. So always keep in mind when you are reading the Federalist Papers, these founders do not come in every paragraph and remind you of that. But when you read their writings, when you go back and read their writings, especially around this time, 1786, 87, 88, 89, they know that they have something, they're living in a momentous time. They're living in a time that has been given to them to try this magnificent experiment. And they want to take advantage of it. Because John Adams says, Jefferson says, Madison says, he said these are times that all the great names, all the great famous people of the past wish they could live in, so that they establish a government that will be a model for the future, and their names would be repeated after day. Okay, before we continue with the next part, I just wanted to tell you about this book. Sorry, the picture is a little dark, but it's called Fame and the Founding Fathers. It's a series of essays. Definitely, if you have time, when you decide to study the Federalist Papers a little bit more deeply, study the era a little bit more deeply, this is one of the books that you have to look at. It's a very important book. Talks to you about certain things, what influenced some of these founders and how they saw themselves in that moment in time, who might have influenced them, which philosopher might have influenced them. So definitely take a look at this, Fame and the Founding Fathers. Fame and the Founding Fathers. So we will continue with part 2 in the next video.